Okay, I believe we've got most of our chapters on. So thank you everybody for your patience as we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Diana Peralt, Manager of Chapter Development and Fundraising at NHF. Thank you all so much for joining us on today's webinar. I'm pleased to welcome our guest presenters today from Genentech. You'll see their names on your screen. We've got Lauren Davis, Alliance and Advocacy Relations, as well as Sonia Bross and Teresa Koya, Hemophilia Community Clinical Educators. I am so excited about this webinar today, and I'm so glad to see so many chapters on. I think the content today is really going to be so helpful in identifying some great new resources available to you and your chapters offered by Genentech. One thing to note, we're just so pleased to welcome Genentech as part of NHF's Red Tie Society, which was launched by NHF in 2019. Some of you may be wondering what the Red Tie Society is. For us here, it is a membership program that has been designed to bring together like-minded individuals and organizations committed to making a difference in the lives of those affected by bleeding disorders, to share thoughts, ideas, and opportunities for the future. NHF appreciates Genentech's participation as a visionary member of the Red Tie Society and their commitment to help ensure those affected by bleeding disorders and their families receive the care, support, and education they need to live healthy lives. Just a few things real quick before we jump into this afternoon or morning, depending on what coast you are. As always, if you have any questions today, please feel free to send those in through the Q&A feature in Zoom. That should be near the bottom or top of your screen, usually the bottom. Or you may also use the chat feature in which you can send a message directly to any of the panelists or to all attendees. And after today's webinar, I will be sure to be sharing the link to the recorded version along with the accompanying slides that you see right now and any other resources pertinent to today's content. So with no further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our friends at Genentech.
Hi, everyone. Good morning from California. This is Lauren Davis, and not knowing exactly who's on today, I bet I know some or hopefully most of you. I am on our Alliance and Advocacy Relations team, and I have been leading our team for hemophilia for a couple years now. So I'm really thrilled to be here. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Diana, I think this is a really awesome program, and we're just thrilled to be able to give you guys this information over webinar format to be with you wherever you all are today. So with me from Genentech, I have Sonia Bross and Teresa Koya, who are both on our nurse educator team out in the field. Sonia's territory is New Orleans in the south, and Teresa's is Philadelphia up in the northeast. So both of them are actually going to be doing most of the talking today, and we are going to be going through two new resources and programs for you all that we have developed here and are both very, very new and starting to be, the programs are starting to take place out in communities across the U.S. These programs were developed in collaboration and thanks to feedback from the community that we've been hearing over the past couple years. So we want to continue to hear from you and get your feedback as we roll all of these out, and love to hear questions and any feedback that you have to share today. And also, you know, we're very interested to hear in ideas for how you might want to incorporate some of these resources into programming at your chapters, or any other types of ideas that you have. So I'd like to go ahead and kick it off over to Sonia, who is going to describe a couple of our new resources.
Hey, Lauren, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, got it. Sorry. I wanted to make sure that your screen was moving along with the slides. I wasn't sure if it was paused. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm in the South, so it is afternoon. Thank you, Lauren, for that introduction. And as Lauren said, Genentech really continues to work diligently to demonstrate our ongoing commitment to the hemophilia community and through our partnerships, not only here in the U.S., but also around the world. So we're really dedicated to listening to the community and trying to meet the needs of the community. One of the things that we have done, I know Lauren covered a couple of things that we're going to talk about today, but one of them is Genentech has partnered with the University of Pennsylvania to develop resources that will that we hope will enable members of the community to explore how the science of positive psychology can help them thrive in a lot of the issues that they are facing daily. And then also, it was important for us to partner with someone who knew how to meet the need. So that was the reasons why, we partnered. In addition to, UPenn is known for and known to be recognized experts in the field of positive psychology and teaching the science of strengths and that help individuals, lead fulfilling lives and teaching them how to deal with, challenges that they face daily with hemophilia A, as well as other bleeding disorders. All the work that they do and everything that we help them put together is grounded in research. So it wasn't something that was just thought up and put on paper. All of these ideas and strategies are grounded in research, and they're focused on developing and implementing initiatives that prevent depression, anxiety, and enhance well-being and enable resilience. And as all of you know, these are a lot of the topics that seem to be coming up, in a lot of the meetings that annual meetings and family education, retreats and things like that. So these are topics that really, were areas that came back as feedback that the community felt like needed to be addressed. So in taking all of that information, Genentech, together with UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, I'll say UPenn for short, Positive Psychology Center, we collaborated with them to put together 2 90-minute interactive workshops specifically for hemophilia A patients and their caregivers. And then these 2 programs, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the 2 programs, but they really seek to provide strategies and develop techniques for the caregiver and the patient to help them thrive in the face of hemophilia and the challenges that they may be struggling with. It's very interactive. It is as I said, a 90-minute workshop. And I realize that time can sometimes be a challenge when you're having, events. I've had quite a few in my territory, and to date, I believe we have done 12. So a lot of other chapter executive directors have also, found that little bit of extra time so that we can have these really important discussions and have these important workshops. So the workshops are facilitated by a PhD or master's prepared degree professional. So I'm present, Teresa would be present, or whoever your clinical nurse educator is would be present. But these workshops are actually facilitated by individuals that this is what they, they're trained to do. They're, they've practiced, they've been on faculty, they've conducted research. So these are really well prepared and educated individuals that are doing these workshops. Their attendees are also given like resources and materials that they can take home with them. So it's not like they're leaving there empty-handed and they don't have anything that they can go home and look at. And because, as we take in all this information, we forget things. So that is one thing we felt was important for patients to have, was to be able to take home just a folder with a couple of pieces of informative information. So that's how it all started, and that was, our thought process behind who to partner with and why to partner with that person. And then, what led to the 90-minute workshops and the things that we felt were pertinent and they felt were pertinent, and we brought those things together to form the two workshops that I'm going to talk about now. The first workshop I'm going to talk about, it's the Science of Optimism. And that workshop really focuses on strategies to build an optimistic mindset. And I've actually done this workshop. I've been in this workshop, and it was really, really neat. There is a game that is played. And the concept of the game is basically don't give up. And it's building a tower with cups and string and rubber bands, and it's a group getting at a table, and you're building your tower, and you're really encouraging each other not to give up and to stay positive, and you can do it, we can do it. It's really, really neat, and I found that families absolutely loved it, and really were very, very competitive. So that was interesting to watch, but the gist of it is that don't give up, stay positive. And it doesn't last that long. I believe it's around 5 or 7 minutes. But I think it kind of drives home the point that, to not give up and to stay positive. With this workshop, when we were putting together this workshop, they really looked at the science behind optimism and how through optimism, relationships can be strengthened, and that people who are optimistic are equipped and able to assess situations accurately, and they can problem solve and effectively navigate what they're going through. At different stages in their life, people are going to go through different things. In my audience that I had there, and I'm referring to mine because I feel like it's nice to make a connection to what I'm talking about, as it relates to real life. I had teenagers, I had grandmothers, I had moms, dads, and everybody was so attentive, and I felt like really connected with the facilitator, and really had a lot of great discussion. And through the interactive exercises, and some of the things that the families or the attendees brought out or things they were struggling with, they learned strategies to, on how to navigate those changes and how to navigate those challenges. And with your adolescent population, we had some that were going through, going to college, or even your teenage, moving from middle school to high school, or, elementary to middle. And so navigating those transitions was also a big part of that one. So it's a really good one, in that optimistic mindset. The second one is the Science of Connection workshop. And that one really focuses on developing communication strategies to build trust and to connect with other people. And, communication can be a tough one, how to communicate, how to really get your message across. And this workshop really enables the attendee to develop those communication strategies that will, equip them to have those conversations with their physicians, with their parents, with, for parents with other parents. I mean, to really improve the quality of their relationships, making them stronger, and also enables the individual to kind of steer effectively again through challenges and strengthening those relationships in times of change. And, we're always in time of change. Nothing is ever sitting still. So, especially in the day and age of, electronics and gaming and all these things where kids are, really not focused on communicating. They're focused on kind of what's in their hand or what's in front of them. This workshop is I feel, really takes them away from that and makes the individual think. So I felt, that workshop is really good for that teenage, population, as well as kind of the older who have kept things in, for a long time, and may have felt alone and felt like they isolated and they had no one to talk to. This is also a very interactive workshop. They're both very interactive. And I stress interactive because it's not didactic. It is a workshop that you go to sit and you share with individuals at your table. And see, they don't know that. So when they go to the table, they sit with people they don't know, and they have these conversations, and it builds new relationships. So that's a positive too in this community. So that is the two workshops that we offer. if you are interested in having any of these workshops, at an annual meeting or at any of your events, please reach out to your clinical nurse educator. If you're not sure who that person is, you're welcome to reach out to Lauren. She can give you that information. And I have a executive director on the line that I actually did the Science of Optimism at her annual meeting in April of this year, and her name is Vicki Jackson, and she's the executive director of the Hemophilia Bleeding Disorders of Alabama chapter here in Alabama. And I'd like for her to share just a couple of things that she felt were positive or maybe not positive. I mean, just whatever her thoughts are on the program that we had back in April. So, Vicki, I'm handing it over to you.
Let me go ahead and just make sure that she has her audio on.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, Vicki, are you able to hear us and share? You may have to unmute yourself. There she is. I see her. I'm not sure if Vicki is able to contribute at the moment. It looks like she's not muted, so I'm not, Vicki, you might have to unmute yourself and either phone. It looks like she's joined by, I believe, computer audio, so she should be good to go.
Diana, do we want to come back to this
let's
and
do
just
that.
move on with Teresa?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
So we're going to move on.
Yeah, and what I'll do is, because she's unmuted and she does have ability to speak, but I might move her over to panelist just in case, just to make sure she can. So I'll do that while you guys move on.
Okay. So
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce Teresa Coya. She's a colleague of mine in the Northeast. She's a clinical nurse educator in Philadelphia territory. And she's going to talk about some areas that we're really new in, but very, very excited to talk about and share with you. So, Teresa?
Thanks, Sonia. There we go. So, hi, everyone. Hello from the East Coast as well. I'm very excited to present something new from Genentech called Challenge Accepted. This is actually a reality TV series that was inspired by and actually made for the hemophilia A community. We are through with our first season is complete. There are 6 episodes. They're available now on YouTube that you can watch, and we're going to watch one actually in a minute. But because individuals with hemophilia A now have some new therapies available, they have more options to manage their disease. And with that, they may face some challenges as they realize that they have new opportunities that are open to them. So that's actually what inspired us to create this series. Each episode features real people with hemophilia A, as well as some of their family members. They experience an activity that might be new to them, such as camping or even just taking some time for themselves that maybe they were never able to do before. And all this is done with the help of some celebrity coaches we'll introduce in a couple minutes. But so the purpose for this series is really to help the community navigate challenges and adjust expectations as they live their life with hemophilia A. And just as Sonia had said, we've been listening to the community, and navigating challenges really has been one of the things that they've wanted some support with. So this is actually what really inspired us to create Challenge Accepted. So next slide, I'd like to introduce you to our cast of our first season and their celebrity coaches. Each of the episodes is hosted by magician and comedian Justin Willman, and he's really pretty funny. So as you can see here, we have them laid out. First, you'll see we have two parents, Mark and Jessica. Mark and Jessica are the parents of two boys with hemophilia A. And they really were looking to strengthen their relationship. And how can they do that? So in this episode, their celebrity coach is award-winning chef Graham Elliott. So I don't know how all you guys are in the kitchen, but sometimes it's a little challenging having someone share the kitchen with you. But I'm not sure if you'll recognize Graham, but he has been a judge and a host of both MasterChef and MasterChef Junior. Junior was actually my favorite because I loved watching the kids. So that's one of our episodes. The second you'll see here, Taylor. Taylor's a young man with hemophilia A, and Taylor's challenged to branch out. He really wants to kind of step outside his comfort zone. His celebrity coach is outdoor survival expert Cody London. Cody hosted the Discovery Channel show Lost in the Wild. So this is really a pretty neat episode as well. Next on the list, we're featuring Devin. Devin is another young man with hemophilia A. And Devin gets some wisdom about growing older from Mark Sinner. And you may all remember Mark as the former president of the World Federation of Hemophilia. So moving on, this one's pretty interesting as well. We have sibling rivalry is the topic of another episode. And this episode features brother and sister Braxton and Carly. Their celebrity coaches are the former New York Jets player Nick Mangold, and his sister is actually Olympic powerlifter Holly. So that should also be interesting. You have to wonder, you've got an NFL player there, an Olympic powerlifter, how they handled their sibling rivalry. And Holly actually was in the 2012 Olympic team. Then we're going to be able to see Leland in a minute. He gets advice from none other than Dr. Oz on developing his career while also managing hemophilia A. And then last but not least is mom Ashley and her sons Bodie and Bristol. And the three of them are supported through the emotional impact of living with hemophilia by Emmy winner Alex Borstein. Alex is an actress and a comedian, but you might not know this, but she is actually the voice of Lois in Family Guy. So that's who Alex is. And so these are the 6 episodes that we have. Again, we're looking at strengthening, relationships, stepping outside your comfort zone, getting wisdom about growing older, that sibling rivalry that probably is very common. And then, really how to manage these challenges as you're also managing your hemophilia. So if you're ready now, we're going to actually watch one of the episodes of Leland and Dr. Oz. All right, hopefully we can get sound.
Very, very slowly.
There we go.
Slower. Oh boy. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow, I did it. I did it. Ha-ha. Thanks, Dr. Oz.
You're welcome. Gotta go now, my friend.
Okay. I'll just call you if this happens again.
No. Please don't.
See? There's no job you can't do if you have a great mentor. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Today, we're going to meet Leland. Leland is a young man living with hemophilia A who's trying to figure out what he wants to do as a career. Leland spent much of his life just navigating each day of his disease. He wasn't really thinking about long-term career goals. And like many people living with hemophilia, he finds the idea of choosing a career path to be complicated because it's not just about finding a job that you're good at, that pays well. There are many other things to consider. So today, we're going to help broaden his horizons. I'm here to help show Leland a career path that is both exciting and sustainable. And to do that, a few weeks ago, I sent Leland this very professionally designed questionnaire to decide what is the perfect career path for him. Well, see, we will have to get him a rabbit. Hey, good to see you, Leland.
You too.
I was just telling them how you're having a little trouble finding a long-term career path for yourself. And I'm here to help. Remember the survey you filled out?
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Well, the results are in, and after extensive evaluation, I think I have found the perfect career for you. That's why we're meeting here today. You ready to find out what it is?
Yeah,
I'll show you. Follow me. Behold, the perfect career. Magic. I finally feel like I get to be the coach for an episode. Normally I have to come back. Maybe somebody. Let's see your friend. How's it going? I'm here to just check out some bricks. Cool. You know the rule? I know the rule. I open it, I buy it. Expensive rule. Okay, this trick is delicious. Yeah. We got all cream. And refill it. Check this one out. Watch. Huh? Put a can? $50. Watch the dice. You can find out magic never told. I started doing magic when I was 12 years old, broke both my arms at the same time, which is a long story. But the doctor actually recommended I learn card tricks to get my dexterity back if I became a magician. Will you?
26.
Perfect. Never too late when you're calling. I'm so excited for you.
I think it's great, but I'm not really a showbiz kind of guy. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Not everyone, has the magic bug. It does put a wrench in my plans for the day, but we can make this work. Let's sit and chat. Maybe my little survey wasn't the best way to kick this off. So, where are you at now in terms of career?
Right now I work at a restaurant. It's a cool place, but it's kind of more of a life direction right now.
Got it. Well, what kind of career option or what kind of, traits in a job would seem really exciting to you in the long term?
Well, throughout my life, I've had some issues, as most people do, and I've always had people to talk to about them. And now that I'm in a good spot health-wise, I want to give back and, help other people with their problems.
So, I guess currently in the restaurant, you don't feel like it's fulfilling, utilizing your skills the most?
Yeah, I think something along the lines of a therapist would be a better way of, not only giving back, but also utilizing what I'm actually good at.
There is a connection. Magicians tend to definitely need therapy. So why do you think you'd be good at therapy?
Well, I think I just know how to talk to people, and honestly, I don't really like talking about myself, so I think that would make me a pretty good listener.
Makes sense. Which means I guess I'm not going to be the coach for this episode. So cool. I'm not be a therapist though. It's on the paper without help. Maybe my initial instinct wasn't spot on. Are you down for one more field trip? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. I got someone for you to meet. Come with me. I needed all this stuff, okay? Don't judge me. I didn't spend all my money either, so that is a first.
Justin, where are we going?
Good question. Where are you going? The answer is New York City.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope, not kidding. Flight leaves in an hour. Let's go. Have you ever been on an airplane before?
Yeah, you flew me out to LA this morning.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Sorry about that. Hey, if you like magic, this wouldn't be a problem. You can change your mind still if you want. I got some stuff.
I think I'm all set.
You're the instructions on what to do when you get there. Have fun. And don't forget to call me when you get to the place. Okay?
You got it.
Tell the wizard I said hi.
The wizard?
You'll know what I mean. The Wizard of Oz. Dr. Oz. I call him the wizard. He doesn't like it.
This place is creepy.
I know, right?
So, what am I looking for?
Leland, meet Dr. Oz of the Dr. Oz Show. Dr. Oz, Leland. If someone who spends a lot of time giving life-changing advice would be a little more helpful than me, a lowly magician. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Seriously, I'm totally over it. Just glad you guys could meet. Okay, I gotta go. Have fun, guys.
It's a great pleasure to meet you, Leland. Come in the studio. Well, welcome, Leland. Here it is, command control.
Quite this place.
I'm curious about how you got to who you are. What was your childhood like with hemophilia?
Everything was pretty all right until I turned about 11. And then I started getting more and more bleeds that were more painful, missing more school. And, it got a lot harder to keep up.
You ever lie down at night staring at the ceiling when you're a teenager and say, why me? How did this happen?
There were times where I stopped myself from thinking about what I was missing out on in life because I just couldn't even imagine it.
Society doesn't really give you a break, does it, when you have a chronic problem that you can't sort of see from the outside?
People, they'll give you a break once or twice, but when it starts becoming inconvenient for them, people stop making accommodations.
Do you think most of the people that you interface with, people touch your life or you touch theirs, really understand what hemophilia is about?
I do what I can to educate people, but a lot of people do have these misconceptions about what life is like and how much it can really affect a person, especially when you have hemophilia with an inhibitor.
You feel like you're holding back?
Sometimes. It's definitely a thought that I have of, am I holding back because I'm afraid of what I can do? Or am I holding back because I'm afraid of what I can't do?
So if you could do anything in your whole life, something that you could do with such joy that you wouldn't even realize you were doing it, and they called it work, what would you want to be?
Being a therapist is something that I've thought about a lot because, in my life, I've had the benefit of having so many people help me get through the tough times. And now that I'm feeling better and I have the ability to help others and not, more than just myself, almost like I want to pay it forward and kind of help other people get to the place where I am.
And it's someone who's been through a life of pain and challenge. probably have insights as a therapist that most folks aren't blessed to have. Did you want to specialize with any kind of problems?
Maybe because I had so many problems myself as an adolescent. I'd like to help adolescents themselves kind of move through that tough time, because like whether you have hemophilia or not, I don't think being a teenager is easy for anybody.
So can I offer you some career advice?
Of course.
You've already had your share of uncertainty, your share of events that would evoke fear, created failure, forced you to deal with the challenges of life. Wisdom and share it. And the passion that you have for therapy is something that can be addressed only if you keep a long-term goal on your horizon and move away from short-term goals.
So what you're saying is I need to fail faster and learn more from those failures rather than playing it safe too much.
Fail faster is one of the beautiful terms in English language. Get it done. You're going to fail anyway. Just show up in life. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. And don't hide behind your hemophilia. It's not a shield. What do you see yourself doing 10 years from now?
I'll be helping people.
Today, Leland gained some airline miles and some really valuable advice. He learned that there's a difference between a job and a career, and that the only person who can change his path is himself. But it doesn't hurt to have friends in high places.
Really enjoy speaking with you. I hope this is helpful.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ross.
Shoot, my goodness. Rich Justin. Hey, Justin.
You have to help me. It's everywhere. I didn't know who to call.
Is this the diaper again?
Yes, I'm sorry. I know you said not to call you anymore.
And the man can levitate. He cannot change a diaper. It defies logic. Okay, fine. Challenge accepted.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it helps you actually want to watch some of the other episodes on YouTube. And I'm actually going to turn this back over to Lauren now.
Thanks so much, Teresa, and thank you also, Sonia, for providing all that great background and information today. So that is the end of our content. We would love to open it up for Q&A if anyone wants to jump in with any feedback or questions. We can do that now, and perhaps maybe we can even get Vicki on to share her experience with the program that she ran at her chapter.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute all of our participants. So just please be mindful, though, that if you are doing anything in the background, just go ahead and mute yourself. But I will unmute everybody right now. And if you do have something that you'd like to share, just again, make sure that you are unmuted and that you have that ability to chime in. You can also use the chat feature at the bottom, or also the Q&A feature. I don't believe I see Vicki on. She was there as a panelist, and I don't see her right now, so I'm not so sure if she'll be rejoining.
That is okay. We know.
I don't see anything.
We know things happen on webinars, so actually, I'm just really glad that the video played. So.
Yeah, okay, that's a win. And I don't see any hand raised right now.
And that is totally fine. I think one thing to note again that I think Sonia and Teresa both brought up is that the people to contact if you would like to talk about doing one of the UPenn programs or potentially figuring out a way to incorporate these videos into an event that you're doing at your chapter are your clinical educators. So if you need help knowing who that is, please let me know.
Great. And I also see just a comment from Bob Robinson over at BDAI. He said, very interesting. We'll look into this more. He actually reached out to their clinical educator during the webinar, and thank you.
Awesome. Hi, Bob.
Very neat.
Cool.
Well, if there are no questions, I want to go ahead and again, thanks so much to Lauren and Sonia and Teresa for their time today. We really, really just love this program and all of the resources that are available. And I just want to also remind everyone that through the Red Tie Society, you know, we just look forward to these types of engagement from our partners. And again, we just thank Genentech so much for being a visionary member. If you do have any questions or comments after today's webinar, please feel free to send them in to me and I'll make sure to forward those on for you. And again, if you need anything at all, please always feel free to reach out to anybody here at NHF, especially the chapter services team in regards to the webinar series. And again, thank you so much for your time and thank you to Genentech.
Thank you so much for having us. We all look forward to seeing you at an event at your chapter or in Anaheim. So hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.